Every year, millions of people visit America's national parks. We treat these sprawling landscapes like massive outdoor museums, well-mapped, closely monitored, and incredibly safe. And of course, people do get lost. Hikers wander off the trail, twist an ankle, or get caught off guard by a drop in temperature. There is a terrible but understandable logic to a standard wilderness emergency. But buried within park records is a different classification of disappearances entirely. Cases that lack any kind of understandable logic. A phenomenon investigators refer to as missing 411. Take one well-documented incident. A young boy was hiking with his family, walking just a few steps ahead of his parents on a clear, open trail. In the span of seconds, he vanished. His parents didn't hear a single sound. No cry for help, no rustling brush, no slipping rocks. Search teams arrived shortly after, but there were no footprints leaving the trail and no physical trace he had ever been there. A human body has mass, it makes noise, and it leaves a biological trail. To vanish from a trail in seconds, leaving no sound or scent for a search dog to follow, creates a vacuum where standard investigative logic should be. When you look at the larger data set of these cases, the profile of the missing is counterintuitive. The victims aren't usually unprepared tourists. Disproportionately, they are highly experienced, physically fit outdoorsmen. Other distinct clusters show the opposite end of the spectrum: small children, or occasionally entire groups of people vanishing simultaneously from the exact same location. And whether it's a seasoned hunter or a group of hikers, the window of disappearance is incredibly tight. These vanishings frequently occur in mere minutes, sometimes while the person is simply walking at the back of a line of companions. The typical explanations for getting lost in the woods, inexperience, poor planning, or physical vulnerability, fail to explain this pattern. The data points to a mechanism of disappearance that operates regardless of skill or preparation. Modern wilderness search and rescue is a highly precise science. When someone goes missing, teams execute rapid, grid-based protocols, utilizing helicopters, thermal imaging, and trained personnel. Yet in missing 411 incidents, the biological tools designed to find people inexplicably fail. Highly trained tracking dogs, canines that can follow a days-old trail across solid concrete, will suddenly stop in their tracks, losing the victim's scent as if it simply evaporated. At the same time, the technology breaks down. Searchers frequently report their radios, cell phones, and GPS tracking devices abruptly failing, despite having full batteries and no obvious cause for signal loss. Then comes the environment itself. In a massive percentage of these disappearances, sudden, severe weather systems, like violent blizzards or torrential rain, form out of nowhere, directly obstructing the immediate search zone. Biological tracking, electronic communication, and stable weather systems rarely collapse at the exact same moment. These cascading failures suggest a systemic interference that actively isolates the search zone from the outside world. Where these vanishings happen is just as strange as how they happen. A statistical mapping of the cases reveals dense clusters around specific environmental features, namely bodies of water and massive fields of solid granite. When victims are found, locations defy physics. Toddlers are recovered miles away, across jagged ravines and dense brush, taking adults days to traverse. Rare survivors possess absolutely no memory of their journey. Bafflingly, bodies appear directly inside grids already thoroughly combed dozens of times. The geographical data contradicts the physical limitations of the human body. Natural travel under these conditions is an impossibility. We are left with a specific set of facts. We have highly capable individuals vanishing in seconds. We have search grids disrupted by simultaneous canine, tech, and weather failures. And we have victims relocated across impossible distances. Standard theories fall apart under this criteria. Wild animal attacks leave distinct physical evidence: blood, dragged brush, torn clothing, and tracks. In these specific cases, that evidence is completely absent. To fill this logical void, people have proposed everything from classified government operations testing new technology to non-human entities inhabiting the deep wilderness. Despite the best efforts of modern forensic science, global satellite mapping, and dedicated investigative networks, these specific files remain open. It leaves us with an uncomfortable reality. Deep inside our most celebrated national parks, an undocumented threat continues to watch, wait, and operate undetected.